All right, this is the first mineral we're going to identify. So I'll pull it up here a little bit closer to the camera so it's you can see some of the detail of it. So as we go through our mineral identification process, what we're going to do is we're going to examine these physical characteristics of every mineral that we do. We're going to start with luster, and then we're going to do hardness, streak, crystal form, cleavage, fracture, color, specific gravity. And then we're going to use a table of information and identify the mineral. This is what it looks like. So you have two tables, table 1, which are minerals with metallic luster, and table 2, which are minerals with non-metallic luster. And then as we identify these characteristics of the mineral, we're going to record our information on our data table. Your data table, and in fact, all of these documents will either be in paper form or they could be virtual documents, depending on whether you're taking this class virtually or in person. All right, let's go ahead and get started with that. Again, mineral number 1, this is what it looks like. We're going to start with luster. So luster is the appearance of the mineral, how light is reflected off the surface of the mineral. It's either going to be metallic or non-metallic. So it either looks like a metal or it doesn't look like a metal. This penny is metallic. It looks like a metal. Okay? This mouse is non-metallic. It is shiny, but it's non-metallic. So does it look more like the penny, metallic, or the mouse, non-metallic? It is in fact non-metallic. So I'm going to go ahead and get my data table, and I'm going to record under mineral 1, non-metallic. All right, the next thing we're going to do is hardness. And as we do hardness, we're going to test using Mohs hardness scale. And I'm going to start with the object that is the softest. And for that, that's my fingernail. So I'm going to see if I can scratch the mineral with my fingernail. And I cannot. It does not scratch with my fingernail. The next thing is the copper penny. I'm going to see if it scratches, if the penny will scratch it. And the penny does scratch it. So the mineral is softer than the penny, but harder than the fingernail. So what that means is the hardness of this mineral is harder than my fingernail. So it's greater than 2.5. And it's softer than the penny, which is 3.5. So that's my hardness, a range. I cannot give it one specific number. I can only give it a range between 2.5 and 3.5. All right, next is streak. And for streak, I'm going to use a streak plate. So I'm going to simply take my mineral and drag it across the streak plate, and it leaves behind a white powder. So the streak of my mineral is white. So I'm going to record that as well. Next is cleavage and fracture. Both of these terms refer to how the mineral breaks. So cleavage is flat surfaces, and I see there's a flat surface here, there's a flat surface here, there's a flat surface here. So it has flat surfaces in 3 directions. So it has cleavage in 3 directions. So I'm going to write yes, and I'm going to write 3 planes, 3 directions. And because it has cleavage in 3 directions, it does not have fracture. So that's a no. Next is color, and this is a clear mineral. So I can write none. I can write clear. It's okay to write both. Next is specific gravity, and specific gravity refers to the weight, the ratio of the weight of the mineral to that same volume of water. Comparison of the weight of the mineral to that same volume of water. And we're just going to record low, average, high. So all you're going to do is you're going to pick up the mineral and you're going to determine, is it heavier? Is it lighter than what I expected when I picked it up? That's what you're going to do. Okay, so this isn't super accurate. And you might want to put it as a range, low to average, because you're just comparing it. And if you're not really sure when you pick up another mineral in your other hand and compare them. Like this one is heavier than this one. Okay, so that can give you a little bit of an idea. All right, so there's all our information about our mineral. So now it's time to get the data tables. So we're going to start with luster, and we determined it was non-metallic. So I have table 1, which is minerals with metallic luster. So I know it's not on table 1. It's on table 2. Okay, so I've eliminated all of these. It is not these because they have metallic luster. All right, next has a hardness of 2.5 to 3.5. So let's go ahead and look at our non-metallic. We've got a hardness of 1. So that's too soft. A hardness of 2, that's too soft. There's a 2.5, so we're going to say that's a maybe. All right, there's more to this chart on the other page. This has a hardness of 2.5, so we're going to say maybe. That one's maybe. And that's a 3, that's maybe. That's a 4, we're going to eliminate it. Okay, so we've got 4 choices: muscovite, biotite, halite, and sulfur. So now I'm going to go on to the next category, which is streak, which is white. So muscovite is colorless. That doesn't really help. Biotite's colorless, halite's colorless, sulfur's yellow to white. That doesn't super help. We might eliminate that one because it didn't even look yellowish at all, but it does say white there, so I'm not ready to eliminate it yet. The next one is cleavage and fracture. Cleavage, yes, 3 planes. Fracture, no. So I'm going to look at cleavage and fracture here. I'm going to look at them together. This one says for yes, 1 plane, but we had 3 planes. And yes, it also is fracture, but ours didn't. Biotite is yes, 1 plane. Fracture, yes. And that doesn't fit either. Halite is yes, 3 planes, and fracture is no. That's exactly what we had. Sulfur is no cleavage, and yes, fracture. Well, that doesn't fit at all. So we've eliminated everything except this one right here. So, but we probably should check the rest of the characteristics just to be sure. So we've got color, none, and clear, colorless, so that's okay. And specific gravity, low to average, and we've got low. So that works too. All right, so that all fits out. So now we've got to look at other properties. And this says that halite tastes like salt. So we need to do that test. So let me change my camera here. That's not what I wanted to do. I want to do that. Okay, there I am. All right, so okay, we're going to taste it. And yes, it tastes like salt. I'm going to take a drink after that. That passed that test. So we need to record that. So on our data table here, we're going to write tastes like salt. And then we've identified its halite. And then the next thing we want to do is on this table, we're going to write 1 because we identified that as mineral 1. And all the minerals that you're identifying, you're only using once. So you can, that you're kind of like crossing that one off. You don't need that one anymore. And that is the identification of mineral number 1, which is halite.